Buenos dias and welcome to our Mama Christmas special. As you can see, I'm joined by all 8 of our mamas, each grouped up, and they're gonna make their most special Christmas recipes for us. Now, I'm excited to find out what we're gonna make. Maddie, what are you gonna make for us today?
Well, we are what they call piececitas, and that's basically is mazapan, and then we dress it up with different things that we've got here, like cherries, pine nuts, and so on.
We've got Granny and Marisa here. So what are you going to make for us?
We're going to make borrachuelos, which is a typical treat that we do during Christmas, and we make loads and loads of them during Christmas.
That's one of Granny's
favorite ones.
Favorite ones to
make.
make.
That's like buckets.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everyone's going to get one at the end of the year, ¿verdad?
Yes, definitely.
To my right, I've got Christine and Rose. So tell us what you're going to make.
We're going to be making hojuelas.
Okay. Now those are tricky to make because I've never really got the hang of rolling it or frying it.
Well, as everything, it's easy when you know, but it's getting the hang of it, and then they're very easy. Really, it's no mystery to them.
And we've got Rosemary and Anna Maria who are going to make some.
We're going to make some recipes that mamas usually have to keep the children out of mischief. It's kisses, couches, and some coconut bites.
So let's find out how we get on and see how each recipe is done. So, mamas, to your places, please. First up, Mama Lottie and Marisa are preparing the absolutely delicious borrachuelos. My mama makes hundreds of these every Christmas time, so she's got it down to a T. Bueno, Mama Marisa, we said that we're going to make the borrachuelos,
Yes.
which is something you've been making for years. How long exactly?
More than 30 years.
Is it tricky to make?
Not really, it's very simple.
So-
Once you get the hang of it.
Okay, so really it's mixing all the ingredients together and then frying it.
That's it.
So show us how we get started.
We just start with the flour,
Right?
pour it in. And this is going to do it.
We don't need to sieve it or anything?
It's already been
done.
sieved.
Okay.
We make a hole in the center and we start pouring oil, which has been heated up, and then you put the aniseed in and you have to let it cool down.
Whilst you're heating up the oil, you put the aniseed.
Once it's heated, you remove it from the hob.
Right.
And then you put the aniseed and we leave it to cool down.
Otherwise we're
Because
going to cook the flour.
That's it. So it has to be, you do it the day before.
Okay, and add everything in there. We don't have to
We
dry
add everything.
Yeah.
That's it. We've got the white wine.
The reason we call this borrachuelo because it's basically borracho.
It's borracho. Now we put the orange.
How much orange juice are we adding in there?
Oh, the juice of 1.5
Because I saw you squeezing them before.
It
Trying to,
depends on the orange how much juice it has.
but fresh,
Obviously.
not cotton.
Fresh.
Yes, no, carton's not fresh. Now we put some aniseed in the glass so that I know where we're going.
Now what measurement more or less do we do with the alcohol?
That's it.
Yep.
About 1.5 fingers. We pour the brandy, the anise, the white wine. Now we pour the sugar. We also did the orange.
Right.
And now we start mixing.
So this is going to be quite a liquidy consistency or is it going to be more dough-like?
No, it's more dough-like because
Alright.
we've got to do it on the counter also.
Is there a need to... Do we have to knead it?
Yeah, you need
Need
it.
to knead.
And
We need to knead
can
it.
you do some, please?
Yes, ma'am.
And this is nothing... We don't have to put this in the oven or anything.
No, just fried. Just fried.
This is the messy bit.
Yeah. We just turn it here.
But pour that straight onto the flour on the table.
That's it. And we keep on putting flour until we'll see that it's right.
Now, when do we know when to stop kneading it?
Well, you know by the texture of the dough. And anyway, I always cut it in half, and if the knife comes clean, I know they're ready.
As you can see, it's not sticking already.
That we do this the same as we used to do the washing in the olden times. With the washing board, we do like that, and that's how we knead it. And then we heat it.
Then fala con it, no? Basically,
Yeah,
it's a good stress relief making
that's it.
it. Once this is ready, you're going to show us how to
Yeah.
separate it and do the little knots.
You see?
It's not sticking, is
It's
it?
not
Perfect.
sticking. A bit.
More
Yeah, a bit more. Got to give it a good
bashing.
bashing there. Have you got the knife there, Maria Luisa? Just to see how it is. You cut it. You see?
So the knife has to come out clean,
Yeah,
or almost clean, no?
almost clean.
That's it.
Now what we do is we put some oil, we heat it up, we try a couple of them to see if they do not open.
Right.
It's okay, if not we have to put some more flour.
Whilst our dough gets a lovely massage, the frying oil has been warming up on the side. Now it's time to roll up our sleeves and create the tiny, beautiful borrachuelos.
We're going to see if the oil is warm enough, a bit more. In the meantime,
So show me how to do this and I'll do it with you.
get a little bowl and then you start doing like that.
What, roll them out into long,
Yeah.
long strips, okay?
Like if it was a snake.
Now do we want these very thick or thin?
No, not very thick, but obviously that you can see them, you do not.
Tiene una práctica, toco
That's
yo.
it. We only do a couple to try the
That's okay?
dough. That's a bit thick. And if it comes very thin, you break it and you start again.
How many do you get out of this?
Oh, I haven't counted them exactly, but you get quite a few.
Mira, mine's not the same as,
No, not
as yours.
that.
Okay, we'll try again.
Wait a minute. Look at my hands
Okay.
when I do the knot. You just turn, bring it in, and then the rest you snip off.
Así, más o menos.
Well, more or less.
I think I'll leave this to you.
Yep.
Because I'm not having much success with this.
Maria Luisa is going to help
Maria
you.
Luisa will help you.
I've done that one.
With the borrachuelos well on their way, it's time to catch up with Rose and Christine, who are going to team up to prepare that Christmas classic, hojuelas. So Rose, Christine, I'm excited to see what's involved with this hojuelas. So how do we start? Because it sounds like it's going to be complicated.
Well, the first thing we're going to do is crack the eggs into the bowl.
Yeah.
And we've got to be rather careful, at least with one of the eggs, because all the other measurements, the few measurements, are going to be measured with half a shell.
So we only use the egg,
we try and get it as neatly as possible.
Okay.
There, we've got a sort of perfect half there.
Are the ingredients that we're using are what? Oil and what else?
And a tiny bit of water, and that is it.
That's it. There's no alcohol in there, nothing.
No.
So the point of the hojuelas is to get them very thin.
That's right,
Yeah.
yes.
So-
And the texture of the dough has to be appropriate so that you can roll them really thinly without the dough breaking. This is a first measure
Yeah.
of water.
Right.
Half a shell of water. We are done with the water now. We've done 3 eggs. So
Right.
now we're going to do 3 halves of oil. That's 1.
So that's all beaten up. Now we use the knife with the flour.
I'll put the flour in.
Okay.
The flour, you don't really need to sift it or anything. It's self-raising flour.
Okay.
And there isn't a quantity as such that I can give you now, because it's lo que decimos
Al tuntún.
la cadmita,
Okay.
la harina cadmita, until the dough is correct.
And we know the dough is correct, so we know when it's sort of stringy
Yeah,
and...
you'll
not
see.
sticky.
You'll
Okay.
see. You get the hang of it, no? The texture that you want.
I'm one with mixing dough and everything
See,
with
I
my
like
hands.
mixing it with my hands
I
as
like
well.
when find it a lot easier than using a spoon.
Like that, you can feel the texture of the dough.
So once that's ready, we're just going to lay it out on the table.
Yeah.
So we'll knead it first.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm going to put some oil in the pan to start warming it up.
So how do we know this is ready once we've kneaded it and we've sort of taken it out the bowl?
Well, it's not sticky,
Okay.
see, and you can feel the...
And it has like a bouncy,
texture.
bouncy
Yes,
sort
that's
of
it.
It's
texture
not
to it.
dry. You don't want it too
We
dry,
don't want
or
it
else
too
it'll
dry.
crack and you won't be able to roll it.
Okay, so we don't want to overdo the dough.
No.
No,
but
this is
Or
fine.
overwork the dough.
it's a very elasticy dough.
Now we have to roll it out. We
Fine.
cut half,
Okay.
and we work with half, and then we work with the other half.
Now what I want to know is how
It's
thin.
better.
How thin do we roll this
As
out?
thin as you can do it.
So we're rolling this out, but now when we've rolled it, we usually roll it into like rectangular shapes or circles. What sort of dimensions do we need for the hojuelas?
Well, long and thin, basically.
Long and very
You
thin.
can make it as long as you like.
Right.
The only thing is, the longer it is, the more art it takes to roll it as you're frying it. Because remember, you'll see it now. When you fry it, you have to keep rolling.
No, I know. I've had the trouble where then it folds in itself, and it's horrible.
If you fold it at the right time, it doesn't.
Okay. We haven't put any flour on the table, but if you need
No,
to,
it's not sticky,
we can.
so it's okay.
You see, the dough is very, very stringy. It's very elasticy.
With the ingredients that we've made, how many hojuelas do we get out of that?
Normally it's 16, no? Or
15, 16.
depends.
That many?
Yeah.
it depends, yes.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So you've got enough there for a good feast.
Yeah,
This is ready now, isn't it?
yeah,
I would say so. It's thin enough.
yeah.
Yeah. So show me how we're going to cut these into shape then. With our pastry rolled ultra thin and cut into long strips, it's time for the tricky part, the frying.
The next step is frying them. See?
Right. So
There.
we lay them over the shoulder.
That's
See,
what
but
I do.
It's a long one.
Because it's a very long one.
We'll try and see how this one comes
Yeah.
out, and if it's very,
You dip in.
Right.
very long, we'll cut this one in half.
Okay, so you hook it over And then just turn
You just turn it over.
as you fry it.
Yeah.
When you reckon that it's fried, turn it over again. Oh, if it lets me. Yeah, and there we go.
We know that they're done because they become sort of bubbly, flaky,
Yeah,
and,
that's
and
it.
lighten up a bit in
That's
colour, no?
it.
So it's a couple of seconds each side, and then you flip.
That's right.
Yeah, that's it.
Once you get the hang of this,
Right.
you've done it.
So once you finish frying,
Yeah.
do we coat these in
Yes.
golden syrup or
No,
anything like that?
we'll leave it to cool
Yeah.
first, no?
Yeah, and then we make a syrup with sugar and water as we usually do.
Right.
And we're going to add some golden syrup as well.
So they should be going this golden colour.
Yeah, so there you go.
Perfect. We're going to get at least 8 or 10 out of these.
At least, I would say about a dozen.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll let you get
Yeah.
on with all the rest of these.
Okay.
And then we'll come back and continue with the next bit.
Okay then.
Join me in part 2, where the mamas and I will prepare even more Christmas treats. Welcome back to Christmas with the Mamas. Next up, we join up with Mom and Maddie, who are going to get nutty as they prepare some delicious bite-sized piececitas de mazapán. So Maddie, Mom, hello.
Hello.
We made mantecados during Christmas. We've made lots of different little treats, but I've never made piececitas before. And that's what you're making for us today.
That's correct.
Right, yes.
Okay, so what's the base of these piececitas?
It's the sweet potato.
Right.
That's the main ingredient. And obviously we've got a few other ingredients. We've got the icing. We have the almond flakes, pine nuts, the hazelnuts,
Yes,
the
and
almonds.
sugar.
I've never made anything with mazapán before.
They're done in many different ways. Some people use just the egg,
Right.
but we're going to use the sweet potato because it's nicer. It comes out with a different color. And not only that, but it's
Sweeter. Yeah, I
so
thought
it
so.
should
Yeah.
be nicer.
Right, so how do we get started with this?
First of all, we've got. I'm not going to put all the ingredient in, all the
Right.
sweet potato in, because sometimes the sweet potato holds a lot of water, and it can come out a bit soggy. And what we're going to do, we're going to add the icing sugar. So if you care to put the icing sugar while I turn.
Now, is that a whole packet of icing sugar? Because there's quite a bit there.
This is 300 grams of sugar. Yes, I measured it. It's been sieved.
Okay.
And
You tell me how
everything just start mixing. With the sweet potato, what you do is you boil it.
Right.
Boil it and then take the skin off and mash it.
Now, do you have to set it
Nothing
aside to let it
for
drain to the
That's
water?
right. That's right. I left it overnight, draining all the water out.
Once mashed.
Once mashed, yes.
Okay.
I like to add it a bit at a time because that way we don't run the risk of getting soggy. At first, people would say, "Oh, it's not turning out well." It's just a question of working at it.
You can see now how it's blending together.
It's blending together. You see.
So almost instantly you can see that the texture changes.
So we're going to add,
So we're going to do that a little at a time, because otherwise it's going to go all over
And that's
the
what
place.
ground almonds we said, no?
These are 300 grams of ground almonds. That's right.
Well, this is similar to when they made the mantecados. You've got to work it until you get the right consistency.
That's right.
So it's going to be very, very smooth and soft when you bite into them.
That's right.
And all our Christmas treats tend to be either soft and sweet, or there's
That's right.
there's always some sweetness to them, really.
Yeah,
No?
and fattening as well.
not-
Never forget that.
Yeah.
ready to add the lemon.
Yes.
So it's the
The
zest of one
zest of the
lemon.
lemon. Some people will add the zest of the orange as well. So it's up to you really.
Oh, okay.
I think that's about it. We might have to work it by hand now.
So the point is to add all the rest of these ingredients, or they're just going to be used to dress up at the end?
That's right.
right.
See,
So this is the base of the masapan that we're going to use.
that's right. You mustn't work this too much
Right.
because you know that the ground almond it's very oily. And the
Okay.
more you work at it, the greasier it will get. Right. So we're ready now. What we're going to do, we're going to cut this in half.
Okay.
Yes. And now.
What, just
partner
set it
is
into the
gonna
bowl?
cut. That's going to
Separate the eggs.
separate the egg yolk from the white. Because the idea is to brush, once they're done,
Right.
you brush them over with the egg to get this nice golden color when they're done. Before
lovely.
going in the oven, yes?
And how long does it take in the oven, did we say?
Well, it depends on the oven, about 10 minutes or so at 160. You just got to keep an eye on it. So once it starts getting a little bit golden on top,
Okay.
that's it.
And these are going to be turned into little balls.
That's right.
I'll do a few with you then.
Yes, of
Show me.
course. What you need to see is that they're all more or less the same size. Otherwise, one will burn and the other one.
So pinch a bit.
That's right. You make it into a ball.
Like that, Mario? A little bit smaller.
A little bit smaller.
you're going too big, I'm
because
going too
remember,
small.
they has to go in here. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And what we do
Same.
is.
And then just wash it in the egg.
See.
So shall I let you get on with the rest of these?
Yes.
I'm going to check up on our other mamas.
Okay.
And we'll pop these
No
in the oven when
problem.
they're ready. With our marzipan mix ready, all that's left is to roll up the little balls and decorate. Lorraine and Maddie have an assortment of delicious toppings such as glacé cherries and pine nuts to top them all off. Once done, it's off to the oven for 10 minutes at 180 degrees. Maria, I'm excited to make these because the course that you described earlier has really intrigued me.
It's very simple. This really is a copy of the Bacis.
The little bombones.
That's right, which is kiss in Italian.
Right.
And I thought I'd put Kuss, which is German, for my German family.
So what's the base of this sort of recipe then?
Okay, mine is very simple. We've got the Nutella, we've got the chocolate powder, and we've got the hazelnuts. Now, before I used to buy the hazelnuts, the whole hazelnuts, and hammer them down, sweat a lot, children everywhere with pieces everywhere. So now it's modernized.
We avoid
I
that
just-
mess, yeah?
Avoid the mess, avoid the trouble, just buy the packets.
Right.
Obviously, I put 20 grams less because I save the 2022 whole ones for the inside of the batches.
So similar to these, Ana Maria, you're going to make something along the same lines, isn't it? Which are going to be sort of
Yes,
small and...
the piececita de coco, the coconut pieces.
Right.
Basically, it's just 3 ingredients. It's the icing sugar, the condensed milk, and the coconut.
So these are very
That's it.
similar to the coquitos that we've made in the past.
That is basically what I'm doing.
But they're not
and
going to be
with
coated with anything.
No, it will not be coated with anything. It's just different colors, which children like, you know, when you've got green, red, and white.
Right, these are festive, very child-friendly recipes
That's
which
right.
you can cook with the kids
Yes.
at home and
That's
make
right.
it fun with them.
Keep them out of mischief.
That's what, yeah, as we mentioned before. So show me, where do we start with these then?
Okay. If
Right.
I move on to this side.
I'll stand in the middle of both of you, that way you
Yeah,
can both show
okay.
me.
I've only got to pick up this here, and everything goes in together.
Everything at the same time.
Everything at the same time.
And how more or less what...
Making nice a mess.
and-
Oh, a lovely mess. 200 grams of Nutella,
right.
40 grams of the chocolate powder, and 80 grams of the already nicely chopped hazelnuts.
And that's all going to be mixed together.
That's all going to be mixed together. I start off very nicely with the scraper, and I'll end up putting my fingers inside.
Just getting it covered in chocolate everywhere.
Everywhere.
So try not to touch
That's the
anything.
part the children love most.
Well, I'm going to let you finish these off and blend these together. In the meantime, I'm going to check with Ana Maria and see how she's going to get on with her coconut bit. Okay. So, hi Anna.
Hi.
So where do we go with, to start with this recipe?
We start, well, it doesn't really matter whether you add this, so that it's all got to be mixed together.
Right.
I'll start with the coconut. It's 4 cups of coconut, which is like a bag of desiccated coconut.
Okay.
The icing sugar helps to make it less wet, because when it's very wet, you can't roll them properly.
You make it similar to the masapan which Mari made.
That's
We
right.
want that sort of consistency so you can
That's
mold
right.
it afterwards.
That's right. 1 whole tin of condensed milk. When this is ready, I put it in the fridge for about a few hours, because then it's easier and it doesn't stick to your hands when you're actually shaping them into pieces, into balls.
So a few hours. It doesn't have to be overnight.
Yeah, overnight or just a few hours, you know. So anyway, I'll put some icing sugar here.
Oh, not all of it.
I mean, I've got 2 cups of icing sugar, but when I see that the mixture sticks to my hands, then I
Right.
keep on adding a bit more. So it's a question of mixing it very well.
Okay, so let you mix
So
this
that-
up and then what? We'll divide it into different bits, into different bowls and add the colouring?
That's right.
While Ana Maria preps her coconut mix, we'll check back with Rosemary to see how her kusse is doing.
You pick up the hazelnut,
Yeah.
put it right in the center and roll it. Okay, and we put it on the tray.
Now these have to go...
And this would go into the fridge.
That's what I was about to ask.
Yeah.
Do these go overnight
For
or just...
a couple of hours in the fridge.
Until they firm up a bit?
Until they firm up, because they've got to go into hot chocolate.
Ana Maria gives a holiday twist to her bolitas de coco by adding a teaspoon of food coloring to the mix.
These are the ones that I've just done.
Right.
But these should go into the fridge for a couple of hours. So as we are pressed for time, I did these yesterday.
Oh.
So they're already nice
So
and cold.
You thought advanced.
Yeah. So I'm going to dip these, because these are too tender to go into the melted chocolate, okay?
With the heat of the chocolate that
That's
melts.
right. So this is nice. It's been in the fridge. And this has got to go back to the fridge. But it'll only take... It won't take very long. There's nothing to it.
Go bueno.
There's
Can't
nothing
resist
to
when
it.
you have chocolate around. You just have to
All right.
have to eat it all as you go along.
Yep.
With la bolitas and the kuse ready, all they need is some time in the fridge and they're done. Time to check back with Mama and Mawisa, who have been really busy preparing hundreds of borrachuelos. So how are we getting on over here?
Oh, very well.
Yeah, I've seen you've done quite a few there. How many borrachuelos did we end up in total?
130.
Yep.
130 from that amount of flour and everything that we made. Wow, so these are you've almost really done all the frying part.
Yeah. When we finish, we'll do with the syrup.
And we're just gonna warm up the syrup to make it a bit more liquid, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
We're just gonna dip it in the syrup. Is there any alcohol with the syrup, or is it just going the syrup on its own?
We've got enough alcohol in the...
So if we're already drunk, we might want to drink.
No, we've got
a little
enough
bit more.
there. They already have enough.
Okay. So 2 tins of golden syrup, or 1 large one, I imagine.
Yes. Yeah.
Right, so now what, Mama? You're heating that up, I think?
We heated the syrup
Yeah.
to make it a bit more liquid because it's very, very thick.
That doesn't take very long, really.
No, just a couple of seconds, you see. It's all liquid now.
Yeah, and that's the case of just
dipping them
putting
in.
them in there. Now to finish these off, I've seen them that you've done them with what? With these
The hundreds and thousands.
hundreds and thousands.
So we'll get the tray. Mary, you can put some hundreds and thousands there.
So cover the base of the dish with the hundreds and
Just a
thousands
few
first.
only, so that they stick when they go to the bottom. And just we put a few there at a time.
So these are going to be really sweet.
Very, very sweet and sticky. And yummy.
Whilst Mama and Mawisa coat the borrachuelos in lovely gooey syrup, it's time to check up on Christine and Rose, who are about to add the finishing touches to the hojuelas. Right, so how are the hojuelas coming along?
Very well, there they are.
Wow,
They're all ready for the syrup now.
They look beautiful. So we need to put these into the syrup now?
Yeah.
Yeah, we get a bowl of water.
Right. So it's just water and sugar.
And we leave it to boil, no?
Yes, we leave it to boil a few minutes.
So dissolve the
5
sugar
minutes.
into the water.
And then we're going to add half a tin of golden syrup
We're adding that into the
to
syrup.
the syrup.
I usually when I made the almiba, it's just sugar and water, maybe some anise from there. or
This
something.
gives it, when you can
shiny,
add
no? A
anise,
shiny
it gives
colour.
it a nice golden glow.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
it gives it a nice,
Perfect.
so
And then
works
we
well.
put some hundreds and thousands.
That's once we dip them and everything is finished. But that syrup looks like it's thickened up quite nicely
Yes,
there.
yes.
Now we're going to put...
It's a light syrup, it's not a very thick syrup, but it's been boiling for 5 minutes, so now we add the
golden syrup.
golden syrup, yeah.
That's going to give it that little shine at the end, like you said, yeah?
That's right. Now we just let it boil a little bit,
Okay.
not much.
And then, how are we going to do this? We're going to just dip this in there, so roll it around in the syrup, or?
Well, what I do is I stand them, and then I spoon the syrup. You'll see it now. You spoon the syrup over the standing hojuela so that it goes into all the layers.
All the little crevices.
Otherwise,
and all the
you
layers.
just get it on the outer layer.
Okay.
Okay, so let's get one. We pop it in. We stand it, and then.
So we do one at a time, yeah?
Yeah, one at a time.
So here we have it, 5 perfect treats for the festive season, getting the family round, filling their bellies up with warmth and happiness. And that's really what it's all about. So mamas, you've made me proud. This spread looks delicious and I think your family are really going to have a full belly this season. So from all of us here, we wish you a Merry Christmas. And before we tuck in, mamas, take it away.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Yes.